Yo, what is going on, everybody? I'm CZ, and thank you for checking out today's video. It's been a little bit, I know, I apologize. I have been streaming, though, so if you have checked out the streams, I definitely appreciate you. You're fantastic. But anyways, I'm back on the YouTube grind with a new video series that I'm super excited about, and it has to do with the Call of Duty League. So if you're into that kind of shit, stick around. I think you're really going to enjoy this type of video. I pretty much am just going to talk about what's going on in the league. Today we're talking about the standings and how to understand them a little bit better and kind of my opinions overall. And I'm sure there's some really messed up shit that's going to be happening that's going to make you be like, bro, what the fuck? Aha, you see where I got the title. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this today. So, as you can see on the screen, I have got an Excel file with the Call of Duty League standings post-Atlanta. So this is the most current as of right now. And all of this information, all of this CDL points, blah, 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 I took straight from the Call of Duty League website. So if you want to double check my math, you can look down in the description below, find that link, and I'll take you straight to their website and check out the standings. I just copied it all. I literally did. I added, what was it, total matches, I think, and total games, just so that you could see the percentages a little bit better. But anyways, so today's video, I'm going to be talking about the current standings and how to understand them a little bit better because they are misleading. They're actually pretty damn misleading, just as of right now. And then I want to show you a couple interesting things that I found. And at the very end, we're going to be looking at my rankings. So I am going to go ahead and ramble this shit off pretty quickly. I'm not going to harp too much on anything, but I want you to know that I have opinions, but I will try very hard to base my personal opinions on factual stuff. Most of the time. Sometimes that's not going to be acceptable. Like, I think Optic Gaming LA is one of the best teams in the league, but they clearly suck balls. I'll keep it in check. I'll try my best to keep it in check. Okay, anyways. So, yes, this is the current standings. We have Optic Gaming, Los Angeles. I choked. At the very bottom, Toronto Ultra next, New York Subliners, Seattle Surge, Los Angeles Guerrillas, then the Dallas Empire at 7, London Royal Ravens, Florida Mutineers, Minnesota Rocker, Paris Legion, Atlanta FaZe in 2nd, and Chicago Huntsmen at number 1. So damn cool to see all these teams. I hope you guys are enjoying the Call of Duty League. I'm actually loving the shit out of it. Every single homestand, they make it better, which is cool. But anyways, looking at this, here's my problem, guys. Here's my problem. I feel like the Chicago Huntsmen fanboys, and that's what I'm calling you because you are, admit it, are looking at this right now and being like, yes, we're at the top. We are the best team in the whole damn league. And that might be true as with just this information, but you need to look at it because you're not the best team. I think you can objectively say, you should anyways, that Atlanta FaZe is the better team. Okay, here's why. Ready? Here's why. Here's why. Chicago Huntsmen currently have 90 CDL points, and that's why they're in first. FaZe was 70, that's why they're in second, so on and so forth. You can see the trend here. It's common sense. It makes a whole lot of sense. However, let's look at the next column. Events played. Chicago Huntsmen have played 3, as where Atlanta FaZe has played 2. This is my biggest, this is the biggest, I don't know. This makes the most difference. Anyway, so if we go over here, and this is where we're going to be breaking it down. We look at events played. Chicago Huntsmen is absolutely the best team if we're looking at the teams that played 3 events. They're definitely the best team. We can say that, absolutely. However, if we look at only 2 events played, Atlanta FaZe is the best team. See, it's like apples to oranges. So I think the best way to go apples to apples is to compare your match win percentages and compare your game win percentages. So, Chicago Huntsmen, for example, has 9 total matches. They've won 8 of them and only lost 1. That's phenomenal. That is amazing. So that gives them a win ratio of 88.9%. That's awesome. That's so cool. I said ratio, but that's not what I meant. So their win percentage is almost 89%. Atlanta FaZe has played 6 total matches. They've won 6. They've lost 9. So their win percentage is 100%. So if we're basing it off of who has won more of their matches, then we are looking at a completely different thing. Now look at this. We're going from this down. Atlanta FaZe is now in first. Chicago Huntsmen is in second. And these change up a little bit. Optic doesn't change up at all. But the rest of them change up a little bit. So, I mean, I think that gives a better story. Now let's change this back to Chicago being back on top in first place as the current standings are. Out of all the games they've played 36 games, so it's like a whole bunch of hardpoint, a whole bunch of search and destroy, and a whole bunch of domination. They have played 36. They have won 26, only losing 10. So they've won 72% of their games. That, again, is an insane number. I love that. That's so cool. Atlanta FaZe, in comparison, has played 22 matches. They've won 18 and only lost 4. Of course, you can say they have not played as many matches as Chicago, but that's why we're looking at the percentage. They have won almost 82%. That's a full 10% more. So again, if we sort this by who's won the most, who has the better game winning, Atlanta FaZe is in first. Chicago Huntsmen is in second. And again, these switch up a little bit. They flip-flop a little bit. Nothing major. Optic Gaming is at the very bottom with Sweet. So I just wanted to put this at the beginning of the video because yes, Chicago is in first, and at the end of the day, what really matters is how many CDL points they have. But I want you to understand that if we're not talking CDL points, if we're talking who is the best team right now, Atlanta FaZe is the winner. Chicago Huntsmen is in a close second, but Atlanta FaZe is the winner. And I'm not an Atlanta FaZe boy. They are one of my favorite teams. But again, I want to base the standings off of actual shit that matters, like match win percentages, game winning percentages. It tells a truer story, I guess is what I wanted to talk about. So they're all great teams. No, they're not. That's actually a good segue into the next one. We're talking divisions. There's a clear number one, or like a clear top of the list. There's a clear middle of the road teams, and then there's the shit teams. I mean, that's super clear to me. The shit teams have won one match at best. The middle of the road is like all within essentially a game of that was really cool. They're all essentially within a match of themselves. And then the top two are blowing everybody else out of the damn water. So here's what's really interesting about this is Chicago Huntsmen and Atlanta FaZe are at the very top. You can't touch them. They're amazing. If we look at the bottom, like everybody, like Optic Gaming, for example, everybody's talking so much shit about them. And at first look, yeah, go ahead because they're last. But every single match they played has been super close. So if they were to have won a couple more games, not necessarily the series, but games, they could be higher up on the list. But what's more important is if they would have won one series, they would be tied with everybody else. Now here's where it gets really cool. Let's say Los Angeles Guerrillas at the LA homestand do not win anything. They don't win any single matches at all. And somehow Optic Gaming ends up winning a lot. Let's say they win 3 matches. Optic Gaming will then skyrocket up here, and everybody else will shift down. So the competition is extremely tight within your own brackets. That's essentially what I'm saying. And the craziest thing is Optic Gaming is literally 1 game away from being with these guys. 3 games away from being at the bottom of the okay teams. It's just crazy. Like, let's say, oh, here's a good one. Paris Legion continues to kick ass. They only get better. They're almost able to break into that next tier. It's crazy to look at it. Like, since we're still early on, it's very much anybody's game. Optic Gaming could come out hot and literally shoot up the damn chart. Or let's see, Florida Mutineers could end up sucking a whole bunch and falling so much because we've got such a small sample size right now of games played under our belt. Things could change literally so drastically from event to event. And I don't think it's going to be until like the end of the season until we're really going to find out who is the very best. Plus, teams are still figuring shit out, so whatever. With all of that being said, with all of my breakdowns being looked at, with the divisions in my mind, I have my power rankings right now. And this is based off of facts and how I feel, because it's my power rankings. That's how I get to do it. So let's go ahead and start at the bottom. I think I can do it this way. I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to click unhide. This is how I set it up. Number 12 is Optic. They are at the very bottom. They've played a lot of close teams, or a lot of teams close, but they're struggling. It's not their skill they're struggling with. It's their dynamic with each other. So until they change that, I think that they're going to be at the bottom. Even if they win matches here and there, they're still going to be towards the bottom. The next team after that, who I think is slightly better, is going to be Toronto. I think most people have kind of picked up that they're still figuring shit out. Like, they have a ton of great players. They're trying very hard to figure out which great players they need to start. And until they do that, they're going to be towards the bottom. They're just going to be towards the bottom. It is what it is. Who I got in 10th? LA Gorillas. Now, this is really hard saying because as of right now, there's a lot of rumors going on, and by the time this video is live, it could have already been changed, but there's a lot of rumors going around that they have benched 3 of their 5 starters and picked up 2 AM players. So this might change. They might go up and they might go down. I don't know, but I can't see them realistically beating any of the other teams, at least a lot. So they're number 10. Number 9, we have Seattle Surge. This is a very similar issue to kind of Optic Gaming. They all have a roster that is absolutely amazing, but they are dynamic. It's just off. They're still trying to figure out who's doing this role, who's the in-game leader, or things like that. They're trying to find their footing. I think that when they do, they will be able to be a top team, but right now they're struggling. And I know that Enable got put on the bench, and they brought in Pander. We'll see how that changes things. I don't see Enable being on the bench for too long, to be honest. So top 8, who do we have now? The New York Subliners. This is another team that actually just made... I just realized that my power rankings were literally made 12 hours before all of this shit hit the fan. So the Subliners have also made a roster change. Ow, that hurt. They have benched Zero, which is stupid as shit in my opinion. Zero was not the problem on this team, but I don't know. So they brought in... I think, is it Happy? Which, if you're not familiar with that name, don't worry, most people aren't. Most fans aren't anyways. He's been around for a while, but he's never been relevant. I don't think at all. Yeah, so I honestly see this team going down. Even worse. But, I don't know. Who knows? All these changes are kind of like now rearranging how I'm thinking about these teams. Number 7 is going to be Royal Ravens. I think this is a pretty good spot for them to be because they are a lot of good talent. But they're just, I don't think that they have the overall package of what it's going to take to be a top team all the time. Like, do I see them beating these teams, especially as I stand right now? Absolutely. But beating some of the top tier teams, I don't know. I think this middle of the pack is, I think, pretty damn good for Royal Ravens. Florida Mutineers at 6, and here's where it gets a little interesting. So, people are saying that Florida got to the finals of Atlanta, not necessarily on chance, not on luck, but they've got a lot of skill. They've got a lot of hidden potential, I guess is what it is. And if all of these players end up working together, like they're all going off at the same time, I think they can beat anybody. They beat Chicago, which you can say, Chicago didn't come out hot or whatever, but they beat Chicago, and they've done really well against other teams too, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that they have a lot of potential. But now that I say that, they'll probably end up shitting the bed and going down. Number 5 is Paris Legion. I can't even believe I'm saying that. Still, at this point, they came out hot the opening event. They came out hot the event after that. I think they played every event so far, so it is insane that they're still hanging out. What's really crazy is it's a lot like the Florida Mutineers. There's a lot of potential on this team, and they aren't all acting. They're not all great together. It's usually just 1 or 2 players going off that's making them consistently win, I suppose. Once they all are on the same page and they start winning, oh my. Yeah, they're going to be an absolute fucking force. Let's dial that back a little bit. They'll be a good force, but not a huge threat. I got ahead of myself. All right, number 4, Minnesota Rocker. I think this is the perfect place to put them. And I actually, when I made this, I couldn't put into words what I was thinking. But who was I watching? It was either Nameless and Pac-Man, or it was TP and the Break Time Boys, who said that they probably play the game the best. like mechanic-wise. They know when to rotate. They're playing peaks. They're playing all of that. They're playing all their shit perfect. But their problem is there's not that X factor. It was Nameless and Enable said that. They're lacking that X factor that can literally go off and just shit on people. It's a team of great people, but they don't have that extra little bit to put them over the top. So 4th place is fantastic. I think they might break into the top 3, or I guess they might stay in the top 3 because they're in 3rd standings right now, aren't they? No, they're in 4th. So I think that they're about where they will even out. I think at the end of the season, ups and downs, this is about where they'll be. So top 3, as you notice, Dallas Empire's still on here. Where are they going to fit? Are they in first because they're my favorite team, or am I smarter than that? Yes, I'm smarter than that. I believe I've got them at number 3. This is really hard for me to judge this because Dallas Empire is one of those teams that, just like Optic Gaming, just like Seattle Surge, they have those players that once they get everything ironed out, like, you are not going to be able to fuck with them. They're going to be amazing. They're already really good, and I know that they didn't start out good. I know that they've gotten shit on by Chicago, but they also have placed second at the event. They went to the opener, and they also went to the London, I think it was London, homestand, and they came in second. So they're still a really good team. They're playing Chicago better and better each time, which Chicago's number 1 in CDL points right now. So, I mean, if you're losing to a team, that's who you want to lose to. So I think 3rd place is great for them. If I were to say realistically right now, they're probably, in my opinion, like a 5th. But I think with their potential, I think with their I don't know, skill cap, their ceiling is going to be easier for them to break through. I think it's literally going to take one small thing, and they're going to be fucking amazing. So, who is number 2? If you paid attention to the beginning of the video, the most of this video, you probably already know that I have got Chicago as number 2. And that's literally not even because my second favorite team is Atlanta. It's not because of that. This is what I'm talking about. I'm basing it strictly off of all the shit we looked at earlier. If we look at their win percentage, Chicago is fantastic, but they're not 100%. If we look at their games won, they're fantastic, but Atlanta has them by damn near 10%. So in my rankings, Chicago is number 2. Which is incredible, and then Atlanta is number 1. So that's my power rankings. I mean, it's hard to dispute Atlanta being number 1 anyways. If you look at it objectively, they just are amazing. They literally are amazing. They're amazing. What can you say? So that's my thoughts on all of that. So a quick summary of this is, when you look at the standings, it's great to see them. It gives you a quick snapshot of what's going on. But if you really break it down into some of these different categories, it tells a better picture, in my opinion. Match wins gives a great picture of who's really the best team, and game winning percentage is also a great way. Again, it's super interesting to see that there are definitely 3 clear-cut tiers of teams: the amazing, the middle of the road, and the people that just suck right now. And then my power rankings are spot on. This is absolutely truth right here, so take this shit to the bank. But that's all I've got. So I hope you enjoyed this video. The next one is probably going to be a little less spreadsheet-y, even though I will have some spreadsheets. I've actually already got it made up, so I don't know why I said that. But the next one is going to be an interesting one. And spoiler alert, it's about Optic Gaming and trying to figure out what the fuck is going on with Optic Gaming. So that's actually a really good title. I think I'm going to use that. Anyways, leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below letting me know how wrong I am on all of my power rankings, and I know you can't dispute my math, so that's all you can talk shit about is my power rankings. The math speaks for itself. My power rankings are damn good anyway, so you can't say shit about that. Subscribe to my channel if you are new. We have hit that 100 mark, so that is amazing. Only going up from here, I really do believe. So, with all that being said, guys, I will check you guys in the next one. Later.